You always just go happy when
I've been given like.
And we're back. We've got Kenny Ken and DJ B and obviously myself. We lads say, man, we've got a lot to discuss. We keep on winning, man.
Big up.
You saying,
Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm at a salt.
Kenny Ken.
Yeah, I was saying, DJ B was
We're
talking.
back.
Kenny, I don't know. He went on mute. I was thinking, what's going on?
We are back. We are back, guys, aren't we? Wednesday. When the three amigos. Yeah, all good.
Amen to
How
that.
can you not be happy? Look, how can you not be happy? Joint top Champions League, Premiership, 3 goals conceded. No one can score against us. I mean, it's all positive at the moment, but you know, as I said, still a long way to go yet. And as quick as things can be up, you know what football's like. It can come back and bite you in the backside. So at the moment, we're enjoying the ride, and long may it continue. But I think there's going to be some bumps in the road ahead. And that's something that we have to get our head around.
Yeah, we're not just going to go like that as much as I love it. That's
Yeah. As much as I want it to continue and everyone wants it to continue, the fact of the matter is football's not like that, unfortunately. They're you know, that's just football. That's not a Mikel Arteta thing or a
just life.
Whether you think the manager's in or whether you think the manager's out, that's just football. That's just football in general. You know, it goes up and it goes down. And it can be something really silly. It can be something like a couple of injuries. It can be
we've got to discuss that later on.
Yeah, it can be a suspension to key players, or players can suddenly have a little dip in form, a loss of form. So, you know, there's all these kind of bumps in the road on the way that things can happen. So, at the moment, it's all looking rosy. We're all drinking cocktails. We're all on the beach. Everything's good. The sun's out. Everything's cool.
The quadruple's on.
Yeah. You know, let's try and win one trophy first.
Yeah, let's get one over the line
in 5 years. This is what I'm trying to say. People are, you know, I've noticed old boy 10 there saying about the quadruple. Well, this manager's got to win one trophy first before he thinks about winning a quadruple. Yeah. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. You know, it's not as if we've had a manager that's won doubles and major trophies in the past. So, you know,
steady. Let's get one
in the bag first, and then we can talk about perhaps getting another one and take it cup by cup. So this is what I'm trying to say. If you're all getting on that kind of, oh, we're going to win the quadruple and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, then expect, if we don't do it, expect the you know, the question marks afterwards. So I'm a great believer in, look, I just want one. At the moment, I just want a trophy, and then we'll go from there. So that's where I am at the moment. But no, big up, glad to be back, and big up the chat as well.
Kenny, what are you saying?
Well, yeah. First, yeah, I think is this the same JD? Is that the same JD?
Which one? Oh no, not normally, not the one you lot normally argue with. No, it's another one.
Oh yeah. What I'm trying to say
They'll
is
arrive at some point.
Look, I said on my fan cam with Lee yesterday, our biggest worry and probably our biggest enemy is going to be fatigue, because I looked at the fixture list and I think obviously everyone thinks we've got an international break and the players going to get rest. That's not necessarily going to happen, because you know, this country still haven't qualified for the World Cup, and obviously Brazil qualified, England have qualified. But, you know, there's going to be Spain have qualified, of course, but there's still players from other countries.
And you know, Saka, Rice, Zubamendi, they're all playing for their countries anyways.
Yeah. See, and plus they've all got to, because they still got to show the intensity, because they still got to be in reckoning for their countries. Then when we get back, up until March, the fixture list is not our friend. It's not just Arsenal's friend. It's to anyone who's in European competition. It's your worst enemy. Because you think about it, if you could just bear with me and sort of indulge me now, obviously I can look at the fixtures now. No, if you can scroll down, scroll up again, scroll down again.
Up or down again?
Yeah, so keep on going.
You want me to go back to where we was?
Yeah, stay. So you think about it. You look at Aston Villa, Tottenham. We got Tottenham. Then we've got Bayern Munich. We've got Chelsea, and we got Brentford. All in the space, 4 games in 10 days. Then scroll down. Scroll down again. We got Villa, Bruges, Wolves, Everton, and then we've got the Carabao Cup. Then we got the league game. Then scroll down again. Villa again, Bournemouth
away, Bournemouth away. Ooh, and then Liverpool at home. Ooh,
all these games.
Forest away as well.
If we do well in the FA Cup and break our duck, yeah, then what will happen is that there's going to be no significant break until scroll down. State. Now you look at the last. So the last game is Wolves away on the 21st of March. That's an international break. Now by that time we'll know who's going to get to the World Cup, but it's still going to be an international break. So up until that date in November, up until like the 21st of March, where's the break? That'd be our biggest enemy. And it's not going to it's not an Arsenal thing. It's going to be a Liverpool thing. It's going to be a Man City thing. It's going to affect everyone else. But any team who has ambitions to win a quadruple, I'm going to do something that I normally
or even
do.
one trophy.
Yeah, or normally do. Unfortunately, I'm going to be the guy that is going to tell you that Father Christmas doesn't exist, and that the food that I'm the food fairy was me. With that level of fixtures, with that intensity, forget about quadruples. It's just not going to happen. Those games are coming thick and fast. No matter how much quality we got on our squad, the numbers, physically impossible. Physically impossible. This season,
down to 2 trophies though.
I'll just take the one because physically it's too much to ask. And I'll tell you one thing: the authorities have a lot to answer for, because they'll be the difference between what we win, if we win, because of the length of games, you know. And I think the players got a lot to answer for as well, because they're asking for these big salaries, you know, £500,000 a week, and we want this and we want that and want that. Have any of you thought that the reason why we have an expanded Champions League, a reason why we have a World Cup Championship, albeit every 4 years now, is because you guys need more money? Well, look at our fixture list. That's our biggest enemy.
Don't put it on the players, Kenny, man. It's not,
why not? Well, I'm not too funny.
The players are the guinea pigs, and they're making pennies compared to everyone else, man.
Yeah, actually, that's not true. That's not true.
Yes, it is. Even if somebody's going to get paid 400 grand a week,
DG, that's not true.
Making more.
No, DG.
Don't demonize the players.
Since the advent in the Premier League, majority of money that comes in there, the biggest expenditure at any football club is player salaries.
They're the reason we're here. But they're making pennies on these players.
Of course, there's a reason they're here. But the
owners are making a lot more. The TV rights are making a lot more. The players and the managers bitch all the time, Kenny, about the fixtures, and they're told us bigger squads.
It's the same players and these same managers.
Tournaments every week.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, but these same players, same managers are talking about too many games, player fatigue, player welfare. Yet they want more games.
So do you think they're wrong in that? Do you actually think there's not too many games? Because we're playing 50 games as a minimum. If you're Rice or Saki, you're playing like 70.
All right, if a player wants £500,000 a week, how are you going to play them? Have friendly matches. You've got to have more competitions. I'm
not distributing that. I'm just saying that, like, it's the belly of the beast. Like, it is the belly of the beast. And I just think the players are getting paid pennies compared to these lot.
You should complain, because I've advocated on many occasions, because of player welfare, the removal of the Christmas date, the Christmas program. I've been shouted down because that is a tradition. I wanted it removed because of the fact that there are no trains running over the Christmas period. If they are, they're crap. And the lifeblood of a football club, they say, is the match-made going fan. They say that, yet they don't want to put in provisions for them. So all I'm trying to say is that level of games, that our only enemy is going to be fatigue, because the quality's there, the squad's there, The players I've criticised are playing well. Declan Rice I've criticised. He's playing his best football. He is actually playing like a proper midfielder and a number 8, box to box, which is his strengths, not a DM or number 6, which is ludicrous. And the dibbly dobbly that is Trossard is playing out of his skin.
Lay off Trossard. Told you to lay off Trossard.
So I've been proved wrong. But as I said before, I reiterate, our biggest enemy is going to be fatigue, and I stand by it.
Let me press you a bit more, Kenny Ken and DJB, on that, because we're on this year. Like, obviously, if I scroll all the way up, where are we? Well, I've gone too far now. Where is it? I might even need to zoom out. Where is it? Crystal Palace. Like, what do you lot make of that? Because Arteta he sounded quite peed off. He kept sounding and saying things of the belief that this Everton game will be changed. But Arsenal and Crystal Palace have been dealt a short hand if it stays like this, no?
Yeah. Well, that's the nature of the beast, though, isn't it? I mean, this is all this is why the Carabao Cup and everything gets disrespected. See, you can't have it both ways. You can't have fans wanting to win cups, but unfortunately, because of the way they are and the way the fixtures go, you have to prioritise where you're kind of what's more important. I mean, this kind of 2 days later is ludicrous, but that's what it is now. That's why clubs build up big squads. That's why the big clubs now have the bigger squads. But what you can't do, you can't go changing the rules and you can't go changing the fixtures just to suit the top 6 teams, just to suit the Premiership teams, because it ain't then fair on the other sort of teams in perhaps the Championship and things like that. You can't rearrange a whole kind of fixtures just to suit the big clubs that are batting on 4 different fronts, because it's only a handful of clubs in this country that play in the Champions League. Fact. So you can't rearrange the whole fixtures and the whole cup competitions just to suit the likes of Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea. That's just not the way it should be. It should be, that's just the way it is. When you're a big club, that's why you accumulate big squads. And the reason why you accumulate big squads is to deal with the
moments
problems
like this.
To deal with the problems what we're facing against Crystal Palace. I mean, we're lucky. We can probably play our Premiership team, if you like. So I mean, I call it a Premiership team and a cup team. So we can we can field a Premiership team, and then we can still field a fairly strong team in the cup competition 2 days later. We're very, very lucky on that front. Whereas Crystal Palace probably haven't got that luxury. So you can't have it both ways. You either want to be in all the cup competitions and do well. You can't have your cake and eat it. So being in all cup competitions and batting on all fronts, unfortunately, you're going to have a fixture pile up, and you're going to have a fixture that's not going to suit you. And you just can't change it to suit certain teams. You just can't do it. I mean, that is crazy. But it wasn't long ago. Years ago, we were playing Boxing Day and then playing on the following day. This ain't. People think that this is like a new thing, but I remember back in the day, you'd play on a Saturday and then you'd be playing again on a Tuesday. And that was every week. You'd have your midweek fixture and you'd have your Saturday fixture. You'd kick off at 3:00 and then you'd kick off at 7:30 on a Tuesday. And that's how the fixtures used to run. So this ain't a new thing. It's just a thing that gets blown out of proportion because of the Champions League and the amount of games they play in the Champions League now. Managers and the football teams are now, saying that it's not fair and everything else. But the point of the matter is, this is why we've got big squads. This is why we've got big squads, and you can't change the kind of way that the cup competitions are run just to suit 4 or 5 teams of the Premiership. You just can't do it. I mean, could have they? If you move, let's say they move the Arsenal and Everton game. DG, right? Where else are you going to put it? Because then you've got FA Cup in January, and if they moved it into April, when we're chasing a Premiership,
Yeah.
we'll have the same problem. We'll have people saying, "Oh, that ain't fair. We've got Newcastle. We've got to go to the Etihad on the Saturday or the Sunday, and then we've got Everton on the Tuesday. We've got Everton on the Tuesday night. See if they move it to March. Where else can you play it?
If they go
This
to
is what
March,
I'm saying.
April, it's nasty, man. We're better off just playing it, man. If I'm honest with you,
Just play it. The squad's big enough to rotate the players, and this is where it all comes. This is why it's important. For an example, this is
and if we
why
get
it's
to the League Cup
important.
final, it's about round here. Another
Yeah,
fixture started
exactly,
around here as well.
exactly. So it's one of them. It's just one of them things that you just have to suck it up and just deal with
You
it.
have to hold it.
Otherwise, we're going to be moving games. We're going to be moving games around, and eventually, it's not going to suit someone. There's going to be a group of fans or a manager or players that are going to go, hang on a minute, why are we playing this Everton game on a Tuesday now? We're in a running for the Premiership here. We've got Man City on the Sunday, then we've got Everton on the Tuesday, then we're away at West Ham. So it could build up in April. So I think you just got to play your squad rotation, and just deal with it. But this is why it's key to make sure that you manage your players, because I'll give you an example. Last night, Declan Rice stayed on for 80 minutes.
I did think he gets up, to be fair.
Did he need to stay on for 80 minutes? This is what I'm trying to say. So, there's still question marks about the in-game management on some situations. Did he need to stay on for 80 minutes? Not really. So. This is the way it is. You've got to kind of make sure that you rotate your players, you rest your players as much as you can, especially when you're batting on all fronts and you're going for all 4 competitions. Managing your players, you're 2-0 up, you've got a solid defence. Get your main weapons off as quick as you can. Get them rested and everything else. But yeah, no, that's going to be interesting playing Everton, because you don't want to drop points there. And then
but it's a nasty place to go to.
It is, yeah. And then you're playing Palace on the Tuesday. It's going to be interesting, but it's just something we've got to overcome. This is why we've got the big squad.
And when we came into this season, we haven't learned nothing new. Fair enough, we couldn't have predicted we'd be in the quarterfinals and talking about that kind of talking point. But it's 50 games minimum, 38 in the Prem, and however much in all the comps. It's the way I look at it, and potentially 70 if you're a Declan Rice, if you're a Saka, if you're a Gyökeres, if you're playing for club and country. So it is what it is. Like, the football authorities are not coming to help us. It's only going to get worse. There's only going to get more expansive games. While I feel sorry for the players and feel sorry for the overall package of what football's about, just get on with it. Where do you lot look at? How do you lot view the League Cup? Because some Arsenal fans I talk to, whether it's kind of piggybacking off what you lot have said or just in terms of priorities, it's like they're kind of like not throw the cup, but throw the cup. We've got other priorities. I kind of lean towards this camp. Like, I want to take it very seriously because it's an opportunity to win a cup. We've been starved of trophies, assuming that all the good we're talking about at this moment in time, tickles over into next year. You never know in this day and age of fine margins what winning and being at Wembley and getting gassed around that for our players could do for the other competitions. But where you lot at with the League Cup? And we're in the quarterfinals. Like, we're very close to the final.
The thing with the League Cup is that it's one of those things where the common denominator when you talk about the teams that are taking it seriously, they're the teams that invariably have had bigger squads than us up until this season. Man City have had a massive squads. So they could take the League Cup very seriously, and it's a day out for their fans as well. So yeah, in terms of where Arsenal are, well, we played. There's loads of players who need games. Ranieri is going to need a game, so you can play him. Hincapié needs to learn where we play. So when you say not take it seriously, the team that we're going to play against Crystal Palace is highly likely going to be still strong enough and still expected to win at home. The situation we have with Mikel Arteta is that invariably, if you look at the game against Brighton, did he really need to bring Saka on? Did he really need to bring Declan on? He didn't really need to, but it seems like he just, in order to keep control of these games, he feels he has to do it. I always say Mikel Arteta, everything he does is based on his first 11 and the way we play, and he still has this notion that only certain players can play in those positions. It was evident last season. If you want to talk about last season, how we weren't able to deal with player fatigue and injuries, well, just because we've got a bigger squad doesn't mean that those issues still won't be affecting us. So that's why I push back on talk of quadruples and everything. But the League Cup, look, Kepa's still a good goalkeeper. Whether you like it or not, whether you can just take it, you can talk all you like, but a club decided to pay £72 million for him. He's had experience of big games for club and country. He played for Real Madrid. He's still a player that I'm not going to have a heart attack if he plays in goal. Benjamin White. It was only 18 months ago that the thought of Benjamin White being on the bench, and for someone like me suggesting it, people were ready to fight. So what's changed? He's still good enough. We know what Miles Lewis-Skelly could do. We know what Mosquera could do. We know what Hincapié can do now. And then you've got the midfield. Well, Norgard, experience. Wanyeri needs games, needs to prove himself. That's that. And then Marino. So up top, why not give Haram and Anus another chance? You know, they're still a strongish side. Now, if you
Even with that, even with the big squad we had in the summer, like, we still had kids on the bench and still had to use the kids. It just shows you can never have enough players.
But the thing is that you look at the squad that Crystal Palace may feel they have to put out. That's that. They're not going to be able to put a strong side like we would, a strong second level like we could. So,
true.
In terms of people saying, "Oh yeah, you might have to throw the cup." Well, if you're playing that team, you're not throwing a cup because they're still good players, and the demands are still going to be there. Yeah, me and DJB want to touch that game with a bars pole because it's not on our tickets. But we're just being honest. But that team is still good enough to win and get through to the semi-finals like it did last year.
And the more games you win, the more games you lot get, because obviously we need depth in the squad and all that jazz, but only certain amount of players can play X amount of games. The more comps you're in, the more scope there is for that.
It just goes with the territory of being Arsenal, though. You know, you got to take every cup seriously. Look, I've said this before, right? This manager this season, despite where we are at the moment, despite what's all going on at the moment, this manager this season is still under pressure to win a trophy.
Hell of pressure.
Right? I know everything's good. I know everything's rosy in the garden. I get that. But from the manager's point of view, he's not silly and he knows that he's still under pressure to win a cup. He has to deliver this season. He knows that. Right? And he has to deliver big time. One of the major trophies has got to be won at this football club, or question marks is going to be over this football manager. If he wins the Carabao Cup, it's a starting point. It's a stepping stone to go on to win other trophies. It's something, you get the monkey off your back, you lift a trophy, it galvanises the team and the squad, and then you can go on to bigger things, right? And it'll be a huge relief for the football manager to go and win a trophy. So this Carabao Cup is more serious than what a lot of fans think. Now, you will get some fans turn around and say, don't care about the Carabao Cup. But we haven't earned the right at the moment to bin the Carabao Cup because this manager has simply, whether you like it or not, has not won a major trophy. He won the FA Cup, right, in his first season. Other than that, he hasn't won the Premiership with all the money that's been spent on the football club. And he couldn't get over the line in the Champions League in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. So this competition is massive for the fans, for the manager, and for the players. So just to disrespect it and not take it seriously, it could come back and bite him if we get knocked out. Because, DG, you know as well as I do, when you're playing football and you're winning games, everything's fine. You feel unbeatable. You walk in the dressing room, everyone's buzzing, everyone's getting on, there's no niggling, everyone's supporting one another. Someone gives the ball away and it's like, it's all right, Jack, don't worry about it, get your head up.
But if the results turn,
But you know as well as I do, as soon as you start to drop points or you lose, then the doubt starts kicking in. It's and especially with this team because
And I
they've
can't lie,
been
with this
burnt,
team, it'd be fickle if that happens. So I hope not.
but because they've been burnt in the past and because they've failed to get over the line in the past, it's all right when it's going all okay. But if it starts to go wrong, that's when you've got to get a different mindset on the game. So, for instance, if we do get knocked out of that Carabao Cup, how are the players going to react? Is it going to be a case of like, oh no, that's another one. We've failed again. This is something we should have won. The pundits have been saying that we're this, and the fans have been saying we're this, and best team in Europe and everything. You don't know how it can affect you. So this Carabao Cup is really, really important. And it just gives you that kind of confidence to carry on. If we get knocked out the Carabao Cup, then players start thinking, oh, hang on a minute, perhaps we're not, indestructible. Perhaps we are beatable, and you don't. And then suddenly you walk in the dressing room and there's a whole different feeling about the place.
Whole different vibe.
A whole different vibe, completely different. Then the pundits and everyone starts saying, well, Arsenal have been beaten and blah, blah. And they all start jumping on the bandwagon. Then the manager starts getting under pressure because he's been knocked out of a competition. And then it all starts to raise its ugly head again. So, listen, this is what I'm trying to say. I'm not. It's not me being negative. It's just me talking of
considering the other variables.
It's just giving you other variables, and it's just giving people an insight of why it's important that you've got to win this competition or get to the final. You can't just disrespect it because the knock-on effect could be catastrophic. Suddenly our season could be turned right upside down if we disrespect the Carabao Cup. So I think, like Kenny said, I think we've got enough quality in the team to beat Crystal Palace in the quarterfinal at home. We're very, very lucky. It could have been a lot worse. We could be playing away. We could have got Chelsea. We could have got, we could be facing. We could be going away to one of the big, no disrespects to Crystal Palace, but we could be going away to tougher opponents on paper, if you like, away from home 2 days later. So, it is really, really important, and that's why we've got to make sure that we rotate players accordingly and everything else. That's why I was quite shocked that Rice was kept on the pitch for 80 minutes. That's why I was quite shocked that he's bringing on Saka and people like that against Brighton the other week, because pure and simple, people say if Man City lose Haaland. Well, if we lose Declan Rice at the moment, that's a massive, massive weapon.
We're in trouble. God forbid.
That's a massive hole in our team because he pulls the strings. He's our dead ball specialist. He assists. You take that out of your team, and suddenly you're kind of thinking, "Oh, hang on a minute, we're looking a little bit vulnerable." So it really is important, my friend. It really is.
What did you lot say to this question? Do you think Arteta is going to make similar rotations to the, I think CP means Crystal Palace Cup game like he did against Brighton?
He's just answered his question. That's exactly what Arteta would do. But if Arsenal gets to semi-finals, because Dane, we got you can't play Crystal Palace without playing Spurs and all the other games. Then he'll 100% do what he did last season. Because when it gets to semi-final, come on. All right, the other games. Chelsea will beat Cardiff. Sorry, Cardiff fans.
Nah, man. Chelsea, Cardiff got this. Magic of the Cup. They've got this. Don't rule them out,
Newcastle will win their game.
Is that away at Cardiff, Kenny? Sorry, mate. Is that away at Cardiff?
Yeah, they're playing at Ninian Park.
Oh, I'm telling you now,
Chelsea, when it comes to cup, when they get their nostrils for silverware, that's when their professionalism kicks in. Man City will beat Brentford at the Etihad. That's going to happen. And then who's it? Who Newcastle got Fulham. I've got good friends of mine. I've got a good mate of mine, very close mate, is a Fulham fan. But I expect Newcastle to beat Fulham. So we don't know what's going to happen against Crystal Palace, But if Crystal Palace are prioritising player welfare and they don't play their strongest team, then I'm confident we'll beat them. So we've got the semi-final draw potentially will be Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, and Chelsea. There's no way we'll be playing our second teams against those teams, especially in semi-finals, home and away.
When we get to the semi-finals, I'm sorry to all the ones that helped us, and I remember Wenger used to kind of do that. Fuck that, strongest team out there, let's get it done, get the silverware.
Well, it goes without saying. The only player will probably not play. Probably Raya. Kepa will probably play, but apart from that, it'll be the two players.
Kepa, man, you can stay on the bench, man.
You say Kepa can stay on the bench, but the thing is, there is a gap.
Raya's a better goalie, Kenny, man.
Of course, Raya's a better goalie, but
I ain't got time for sentiment, and I'm not dissing Kepa.
I hear you say the sentiment, but Mikel Arteta might go down that road.
And to be fair, if he's with our first choice back four, it might be all right. I think you said it earlier. Kepa's a cool second choice, but if we get to semi-finals, I'm trying to see the Premier League side as kind of what DJB referred to it as. Like, I'm trying to see the Premier League side out there. Let's get the job done.
Depends, isn't it? Depends how fit they are.
Yeah, it depends on who you face. Because I think all of us, like, we're jumping the gun in it. We don't know around like who's going to be injured, who's going to be back, the form and for the team, the form of the players.
Well,
it makes it exciting and scary at the same time.
You know what you do know? You do know that with Mikel Merino, he's a cleaner finisher than the striker we bought for 60-something million. And we know that regardless of what you think of Mikel Merino, he won't let you down. Mikel Merino will not let you down.
Would you big up Merino, but what do you mean by cleaner finisher?
Well, look at his finish for our second goal.
Lacazette was a cleaner finisher than Aubameyang. Who got more goals?
We heard that, but the fact is, Mikel Merino
is probably a better cleaner than both, but he only scores about 5.
I repeat, Mikel Merino is not letting anyone down when he's playing up top. That's just a fact.
He definitely hasn't. Shout out Mikel Merino.
Yeah, got to give him his flowers.
Gyökeres didn't let us down against Burnley.
One thing we do know about Mikel Merino, he's proven to us that in midfield he spends half of his time diving around trying to get free kicks.
Yeah,
he's absolutely non-effective. Right? He can't rely on in midfield. Can't rely on in midfield.
You can't.
But up top, I like him. He understands that role, jumping into midfield and all that stuff. He's almost better in midfield when he plays up front. It don't make sense. Big up Merino.
Yeah, I'm with. See, the thing is, right, with me, is I'm not saying he's a better number 9 than Gyökeres, but in this Arsenal system, the way we play,
he is.
He's intelligent.
He is. He's better than Gyökeres. Gyökeres is creating a space. But Merino, whether you like it or not, is a better finisher in this Arsenal
Gyökeres is adapting.
I'm not disrespecting Gyökeres, what he's done in Sporting and all of that. I understand his record. I understand his CV, right? But Merino in this Arsenal system is a better finisher than Gyökeres, right? Gyökeres is there. Gyökeres, for some reason or another, is creating space for other people, and that's not what we bought a number 9 in for. We didn't buy a number 9 for a space creator. But Merino is a better finisher.
Love Merino on the final action.
And I don't know where. I don't know
they
where.
Both play 25 games on the spin.
I don't know where Havertz is going to come in, but he will do at some point. But I don't know where he's going to put him.
You could argue Kai in this system is better than Gyökeres, but we're not allowed to say that. We're not allowed to say that.
No, we're not allowed to say that.
We're not allowed to say that because of the Man United last year. Because of the Man United game.
You can have that as well, but none of these players can do what Gyökeres can do. Put the ball in the back of the net.
Man United Cup game, we're not allowed to say that.
No, you can big up Havertz. And this is my thing. We need all of those players. I didn't want to cut off this convo here, but because somebody said Kai Havertz, and it made me think, like, somebody told me to ask you lot this year, who's been the better value for money or the better, let's not say value for money, who's been the better player? Like, because they kind of play similar roles, Kai Havertz or Merino? Because they both do the upfront thing. They're both a bit shaky in midfield. Like, who's been the better one for you? Because I actually think it's even. I would go Merino, but I can't knock it if people say Kai.
It's even. For me, it's even.
If you had to pick, though, because if you press me for an answer, I'm going Merino.
If you ask me for an answer, I'll go Kai Havertz.
Fair. DJB, where you at?
I can see where Kenny's coming from.
So can I. That's what I mean.
Because and the reason why we say Kai Havertz is not to be confrontational or to be awkward, is because it's what he brings to this. It's what he gives Arteta. It's what Arteta likes in him. Arteta likes that kind of player that drops in and his first touch, and then he spins off, and then he gives you that
facilitating stuff.
Whereas Mourinho doesn't quite give you that. In front of goal, you can't fault him, but he doesn't give you that technical ability on the ball like Kai Havertz does. So I can see where Kenny's coming from.
I think he doesn't give you that physicality as consistently as Kai.
To a point, I do agree with Kenny. The Kai Havertz gives you that. He gives you that kind of different quality. This is why I worry about Gyökeres, because I know Gyökeres has scored goals. I'm not saying he hasn't scored goals. But if you look at Mourinho's goal yesterday, was easy for him. He was in the right place. He made the run. He was in where he should be, coming in deep, coming into the centre. The
second goal was even easier. I don't know what the keeper was doing.
Second goal was easy. The second goal, again, is in the right place. You look at Gyökeres, and sometimes we've got the ball, and you're looking in the box, you're looking in the penalty area, and Gyökeres ain't there.
To be fair, still adapting, though. He was there against Burnley and Atletico.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what I'm saying. But Marino's making it look a little bit more easier. He's making it look easier than Gyökeres, and that's not why we bought a number 9. Listen, I'm backtracking because I was one of the ones that was saying we need a number 9. We desperately need a goal scorer. I was jumping on the bandwagon with everyone else. But I'm looking at Marino.
I've never said we need a number 9. I'm the only one who said.
No, exactly, Kenny. You're the only one who said
equaled your boy Sesko's record as well, Kenny. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm looking at Marino. I'm looking at Marino, and as an out-and-out goal scorer, as someone in the box, Fox in the box, whatever you want to call him, I'm looking at Marino and I'm thinking, I reckon if you gave Gyökeres in this Arsenal team, let's not forget what I'm saying, people. Right? I'm not saying that Marino's a better goal scorer all round than Gyökeres. I'm just saying in the system that Arsenal play, if you give 10 games to Marino up top and Gyökeres 10 games up top, I don't think there'll be a lot in it as goal scoring. I don't think Marino will be
I bet Gyökeres to score more. If Gyökeres gets provided those opportunities, which was a great ball from Trossard over for Marino, he's scoring more. He's scoring more. Even the last couple of goals he scored is, Burnley's in the box, Forest is in the box, the 2 against Atletico Madrid. I wanted to ask you this on Gyökeres as well.
Sorry to cut in.
No, go on.
This Arsenal team, this system under Mikel Arteta isn't conducive to an out-and-out goal scorer.
It's never
has been. So all this talk about, we need that, he's the final, piece of the jigsaw.
It was naive.
I nearly
it's
fell
nice
off my
to have a clinical goal scorer, but you have to do all the other stuff Arteta needs you to do.
Because I fell off my chair because I'm not too funny, right? He's no bloody Haaland. You can make allowances for that because this is a unique finish. Harry Kane, you can't put Harry Kane in that category because Harry Kane drops deep and he brings people into play and he feeds
almost too much. He
feeds the inverted forwards. When you talk about Mbappe is a different kettle of fish where he can play anywhere, and he's just a generational player. But this guy scores the goals. In our system, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Who knows? Maybe next season you might see the best of Victor.
We will, but this year I need 15, 20 league goals. I need
get them because we play a lot. Because the simple reason is that we play in a lot of football matches. He'll definitely get them
if Rice stays fit and he delivers the corners and free kicks
and he gets the scraps.
Because let's be honest. You take Declan Rice's delivery away, and half of your goals are cut in half. We ain't sitting top of the league. Yeah. Simple as that. Because our final third, as an attacking sense, has not been brilliant. Let's be honest. It hasn't been brilliant. It's been okay. It's been efficient, and we've got the job done because of our defensive qualities and our defensive qualities as a unit. But in an attacking front, we've not been
There's many
threatening
gears
enough.
to go up.
We've not been threatening enough. I mean,
But don't you think that was expected, DJB? Because we've had injuries, players haven't been allowed. We've had injuries, we've had new players. I personally think since the Newcastle game up until this point, I couldn't tell you what, but I think Arteta something's dropped. Like, was it not expected? This defense has been together for a minute.
It was
and we've been a better
expected to a
defensive side.
degree. It was expected to a degree, but what wasn't expected was the slight fall off of Saka.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is that necessarily Arteta with Saka, with Eze?
We didn't expect Saka to fall off of form, come out of form. So all these things here, and obviously Madueke got injured and stuff. Trossard is doing okay on the left. He's probably my choice over Martinelli at the moment. So yeah, we're getting jobs done, and we are efficient, and we're hard to break down, and our retention of the ball and everything like that is positive. But what I'm saying is when you said about Gyökeres scoring 20, 30 goals, well, I need to see a little bit more, because at the moment the only way he's getting them is if we've got Declan Rice on the pitch taking corners and free kicks. He's not getting them any other way, because he's not getting the supply. Eze, we're not seeing the Eze. Eze's position is in doubt, because at the moment he's not. You're talking about dislodging the Arsenal captain out of this team. So you've got to be playing pretty magical stuff to keep your captain of your football team on the bench. Whether we agree he should be captain or not is immaterial. The bottom line is Mikel Arteta's captain. Right now, to keep him on that bench, you've got to be doing all sorts of madness, and Eze's not doing that at the moment. So when Odegaard is fully fit, he's going to be coming back into the team, unless Eze can turn it on its head and start producing the Eze that we saw at Crystal Palace.
Or Eze gets shifted left wing for Odegaard.
He ain't going to get shifted left wing at the moment, because I think Trossard
ain't put a foot wrong.
I don't think Trossard's done much wrong. So Eze's position is in jeopardy. So what I'm trying to say is again, it's not me being negative. It's just looking at the facts. Saka's dropped off. Eze's not hit form. Gyökeres is still trying to find his way. So in that final third, we look a little bit kind of untidy, a little bit kind of in and out. It's not flowing. It's not free flowing. The only reason why we are winning games is because we're defensively solid as a unit. Our fullbacks are absolutely spot on, and Declan Rice's deliveries on corners and set pieces is giving us opportunities.
We got Magalhaes as well on that one.
Is giving us opportunities to score. You take Declan Rice out the frame, right? We are then got to rely on our attacking prowess to score goals, and at the moment we're not looking like that. So this is what I'm trying to say. Eze needs to step up and Saka needs to step up, because if they don't, there may be a time when it don't quite happen on set pieces and we've got to find another way to win games.
I think I've seen there's obviously gears to go up, but I think whether it's when we break, when there is space, past the Newcastle game, you know what? Around the City Liverpool game, I was very critical of Mikel Arteta tactically in the final third. I still don't think we're out the woods yet, but I think I've seen enough to say, do you know what? These players get fit, they sort out their stuff. They're going to start carrying the team, because we are going to need these players beyond the obvious to start scoring goals and doing the business, because we are going to get into that scenario where we're just the same way set pieces is just getting us out of it. You lot with individual brilliance will get us out of it. And you know what? If that could happen at this point or beyond, then we're at where we're at, then I'm laughing. I wanted to ask you lot as well, I'm kind of going back to the Burnley game. Do you not think that was Gyökeres' best game in an Arsenal shirt? Me personally, I think it was his second. I know he scored against Burnley, but I'd go with Newcastle, because I just think at this point this season, that game was a turning point for all of us. But where do you lot stand on that? I've been waiting a week to ask you like that.
The way Burnley play and the way they approached us, it was built for Victor. It's built for Victor, like I said, to do the things that we needed to do. Off the ball, that pass from Trossard was fantastic. That was brilliant. Good vision. You know, that's the kind of game that's, you know, we've seen, right? That's an asset that we'd like.
Sure, it weren't meant for Eze.
No, you
I
got
thought
to
it
take
was first time, and then watching it again, I was like, you know what? He probably tried to. He did try to find Trossard. To be fair,
to be honest, it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
he
got
made
to
the
take
pass,
credit.
didn't
Whether he meant it or not, you got to give him the credit. He did play well. He scored. He worked hard. But we want to be in a situation where further down the line in his career at Arsenal, we're not talking about things that we take for granted. We're going to talk about, bloody hell, he scored. You know, when we needed that goal, he scored a hat-trick today.
yeah, you scored, and all the other stuff is extras.
And that's the thing. Do you ever hear us talking about Erling Haaland's work rate? Does anyone actually care about his work rate? No, because he scores goals. Mbappe's work rate is an afterthought. We talk about Harry Kane's work rate because that, for some reason, that's who he is. That's who he is. He's been playing.
Your opinion. I think Gyökeres is too nice in an Arsenal shirt.
Well, he's only just got there. He's only just got there.
Like,
but
just watch Diego Costa and Alan Shearer. Forget their goals, just how they would behave, and you get so much.
But it depends. With him, Diego Costa. Diego Costa first went to Chelsea.
Obviously, don't go too far with it. But
but you think about it. That Chelsea team was built for a Diego Costa. You know, they Drogba, or you know, left.
Him and magic.
I think he went to Turkey. He left, and I think he went abroad and he's come back. So Diego Costa, you know, and I say it in nice terms, footballing terms, they deserved each other. A team and a club like Chelsea and Diego Costa deserved each other. But I'll tell you one thing about Diego Costa. As much as we all hate Diego Costa, we would have loved him to play for us because we needed that.
We need bastards. You know what I mean? We got bastards now. It was nice to see the Prague players try rattle us and get nothing out of it.
So simple. Was it simple? Simple from Fulton Heath. What was he saying? Simple with Fulton Heath that uses the wrong words in context and quotes
someone in the comments.
He works in that station you go on, isn't it? Simple Simon from Fulton Heath with the toupee.
Oh, I can't see.
Simple Simon from Fulton Heath with a toupee. He speaks like he's got a pipe up his backside and speaks like his tongue's been chopped in half. Yeah, you know that one. The one who effed up Palace.
It took me a while to clock you on.
Come on, keep up. Simple Simon from Fulton Heath. Come on.
Yeah, no. When you said the Fulton Heath, I was like, Fulton Heath.
He said he had trials with Chelsea. Remember, he told us, but if I was to go on any of the sort of like Chelsea manuals and ask them, did Simple Simon have any trials with Chelsea? I bet they'll tell you they've never heard of Simple Simon. It's a bit like that geezer who does that Techers with the Spurs fan who said he was an Arsenal junior
for Arsenal, and the Arsenal players couldn't play him. Jeremy Lynch,
like Simple Simon,
Crazy.
Oh man! So what? We've touched on it, but we haven't actually spoke about the Burnley and Prague game. So like, let's skip through Burnley. We can talk about it if you want, but like Prague's fresh in you lot's minds, man. Prague, like Wanyeri, you know, the talking points would have been Saka, Wanyeri. We've spoken about Marino.
Yeah,
defending well. We're doing our thing.
Yeah, no, I listen. I want Wanyeri to succeed. I'm a big believer that Wanyeri's got all the capabilities of being a real top player. And I've said that many times, you know, I can see him going out on loan or whatever.
Too many draws.
But I've also heard Kenny say that when you get your chance, you got to take it. And yesterday he had a chance to take it. He had a chance to really kind of put a marker down and say, look, I'm here and do what Skelly done at left back. And let's be honest, he didn't do that. He didn't do that. And these are the things that are probably letting him down. When he does have the chance to shine, he's kind of not making it happen, which is disappointing, really. And then, you know, he was substituted off. You know, you could see the manager getting on his back a little bit because there's a lot of things in Wanyeri's play that doesn't suit Mikel Arteta. And I stick by this. I just personally think that he's not an Arteta type player. as much as we want him to succeed, and as much as we all like Wanyeri, he's hailing boy, you know, he's come through the system. We want him to do well. All the kind of, you know, all the nice things that we all want for our young players. Unfortunately, I just think there's elements of Wanyeri's game that the manager don't really like.
Shouldn't that be the case? Because he's 18. Like, you should have things that the manager.
Well,
wants
we
to
keep saying about we keep mentioning, oh, he's only 18 and he's only this. Skelly's not that old, is he?
Yeah, but Skelly's still things he's got to improve, and people develop at different rates.
But every time Downman comes on, he's effective. He makes things happen. He draws fouls.
True.
Takes players on.
He will look like a 15-year-old if you gave him enough games.
Exactly. I'm not going down this road. I'm not going down this road with age. I think it's a bit of a cop-out, personally, when people say, oh, he's only 18. And it's meant to cover up a whole kind of... The point is when Wanyeri gets his chance, he's got to take it.
You've got to take it, because then they're few in between.
He's got to take it, because he's not the man. He's not one of the manager's favourite players at this football club. There's something in Wanyeri this manager doesn't see like we see, and we want to see, and we want to do, and we want him to do well. Whether that's his tracking back, whether that's his work rate, whether that's his defensive duties, I don't know. But there's something he doesn't like about Wanyeri. So when Wanyeri does get the chance, he's got to really, really take it. And he didn't do that against Prague. Again, it was comfortable. The first 15, 20 minutes, we looked a bit disjointed. You know, we couldn't really get control of the game. Bit like the first Champions League game that we played away. It was all a little bit disjointed and everything else. And we're lucky, really, that teams like that haven't got that kind of quality in the final third. Because those 20-minute spells against Bayern Munich, later on in competitions, if we come up against a Bayern Munich, we see what they've done with PSG when they were faffing around. You know, if we're faffing around for 20 minutes trying to get into the game, and you're up against we're up against people like Bayern Munich, you could be one down. And let's be honest, we go on about our defensive record. Well, Bayern's only conceded 4 goals and they've scored like 38.
It'd be an interesting one. We're the
so,
only two.
You know, you know, when you're saying we're the best team in Europe and we're the best team in the world and everything else, well, take a look at what this guy's doing at Bayern Munich. I mean,
we're not the best team in Europe.
He's doing great things. He's doing great things. So we've got to start a little bit more better, especially when it gets in the later rounds. If it gets to, you know, if it gets to the knockout stages and stuff like that, I think we do have to start a little bit more on the front foot, because we do look a little bit all over the place. I thought Trossard done okay. Gabriel was Gabriel, like he always is. Timber again, another good game. Nkapie, yeah, I'm not getting excited about him. He's solid, he's hard, he's firm. He's like he's a
little shithouser as well. I've got time for Nkapie.
I've got time for Nkapie. I think he's going to be all right. I think he's a typical left back, isn't he? He's a glorified Kolasinac, isn't he? Really, let's be honest.
Nah, he's better than that. He's way better than that.
He gets in the tackle, he flies in. He's a clumper, and he gets his body in the way. He makes it awkward. Is he better than Calafiori? Is he first choice over Calafiori at the moment?
No. At the moment, neither him nor Miles Lewis Skelly are touching that.
He's probably not first choice over Skelly, but he's a good asset to have He's a good asset to have in the squad to come off the bench and do a job and fill in. Saliba's going unnoticed. Really, he's not really. How can I say? He's not setting the world alight, but he's important. What he does well.
Had a different bit of a role yesterday as well, stepping into midfield a lot more on the ball.
Yeah, what he does well. Mind you, did you see the Van der Ven goal? I mean, come on, man. That's
fucking no. Yeah, I don't want to praise them.
That's Thierry on resettings.
Fair enough, Van der Ven.
Yeah, we're bigging up Gabriel and Saliba, mate, but I don't see Gabriel and Saliba doing that kind of madness. I'm sorry.
Yeah, only problem is he can't defend like
that. Come on.
You're right.
But no, again, it was efficient. It was effective. Once you get a goal in front, the penalty came at the right time. The penalty came at the right time because it looked as if it was going to be a frustrating evening.
Was it a penalty?
in the laws of the game, it's a penalty, but I don't like the
I'd be
laws.
livid if
I
that was
don't like the
against
laws
us.
of the game. I think it's rubbish. I
I was
when
genuinely baffled. I was like, I'll take it, but
I'll take it. But DG, you're like me. When you're a defender, and Kenny will probably agree to this, but when you're a defender and you've got players all around you and you're going up for a ball, you're going up to win a ball, head the ball, the last thing you're thinking about is, oh, is my hand in the right position? All you want to do is go and challenge.
They meant to cut
You want to go and you want to go and make that challenge. You're not worried about where your hand is. So all this hand in an unnatural position and everything else is just crazy for me. It weren't a penalty. In the laws of the game, it was a penalty. In the laws of the game, it was a penalty. But though that law has got to be looked at. The penalty came at the right time, and that's it. Rest is history. Yeah, at the moment, you Arsenal score first, and it's going over
for you if you let us do that. It's absolute curtains. Like what we've got, 4 wins from 4 in Europe now, 11 goals scored, 0 conceded, 8 wins in a row without conceding all comps. It's changed now, but we're top of the champs. So great day out, man.
What could go wrong?
Everything, such is life.
No, but I think I was speaking to a family, my brother yesterday, and he's not going to thank me for saying this, but he says the way we're playing, it'll do for now. It's not spectacular. It's not football with panache.
I think everyone accepts that, though.
I accept it. It's based. We're a functional team. We're a difficult team to penetrate. We're a very powerful team, robust, street fighter team. And, my brother said that he remembered the Everton team under Howard Kendall in 86, 85 and 87. And he
very similar.
And he's also talks about, and I always talk about Mourinho's teams in 05 and 06. Those kind of that kind of team where you look at it and I always felt when I watched Everton in the 80s and I watched the Chelsea teams under Mourinho, how do you score against this team? I look at it if I was an Arsenal fan, I think this is brilliant. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I think this is wicked. But if I was a neutral and I said, I'll be looking at the game and think, you know what? If this team scores, it's game over. I might as well go and turn the TV over because they're not the only thing that's likely to happen is that either it stays 1-0 or this team might score a second or a third, but their goalkeeper probably might as well go home. Every shot that he gets is probably going to be blocked or it's going to go wide. If a cross goes in, he's going to catch it, or he doesn't even have to go for crosses because
if we are lucky enough to even see Raya in games, which thank the Lord we haven't in the last few round of games.
There is a way to play against Arsenal. Move the ball quickly and get ball run. But if you lose the ball, we'll do you for space, which Mourinho's teams used to do with players like Damien Duff and Ian Robben. If you think about Everton in the 80s, players like Trevor Stevens.
The only way to beat us is if it's an open game, in my opinion.
If you ever lost conceded space in those players in the 80s, they'll kill you. So long may it continue. Long may it continue. In terms of the penalty, well, you know my view on the penalties. If it hits your hand, just give a penalty anyway, because I'm one of those people who said I've had enough of it. Unintentional in it.
You're just fed up. I hear it.
Yeah, but the reason I look at it, it's football. It's not called handball. It's not rugby.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous now. Like it's actually ridiculous.
I'm honest. It's not cricket. Where everyone can catch the ball. In football, the only players you should be able to use in their hands is the goalkeeper, or when you're having a throw-in.
Yeah, but when you're jumping up for a header and
if we can get a law, then we'll have none of this VAR.
The law's the law, but it's ridiculous.
It's all this unnatural and all this whether the arm was in an unnatural position. Exactly. Well, when you're jumping for a ball,
how is that not natural if you're jumping for it?
You're using your arms to run.
You have to jump up for a header like this now.
But I always say, all right, 95th minute, and your club needs that win to stay up. Or
obviously, if we're going to benefit, I'm on the scumbag thing like yesterday. I want that in it, but it doesn't mean it's right.
All right, 95th minute, your club needs those points to win the league. All right?
Yeah, 100%. I want that. But that's what me and DJB said. If the shoes on the outfit,
club, are you going to be going, oh, it's a bit unintentional. Oh, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
Handball's
Yeah,
handball.
shameless. We're Arsenal
just-
fans. I don't really care who gets injustice because we've been there before and nobody
Yeah,
cared.
and,
So
yeah, but remember
it is what
they
it is.
got denied a
But
penalty
still.
because it looked from the naked eye, it looked like a penalty, but it was real
No,
life.
what?
Oh,
The Ben White's one in real
no,
time.
naked, no, from the naked eye, I didn't sit in real time. I thought, oh bloody hell, because I
Does he
saw
give a
penalties
free
like
kick
him.
for that? Does he give a free kick for that if Ben White does that on the halfway line?
Well,
Does he give a free kick? Does he
if
give
it's
a
high
free
boot,
kick for high boot?
in Europe? I'm surprised by that because in Europe back in the day, regardless of whether you
Saliba
got
actually
ball or
won
not,
the
they
ball
used to give free
and
kicks
was
for
given a
that in
foul as
Europe.
well.
The high boot was always
let's be
high
honest.
boot was always a
In
free
my
kick
book,
in Europe.
yeah. In my book,
But it's
that's
not even a
dangerous
high
play.
boot.
It was a high boot. It was
He's
a high
nicked,
boot.
he's nicked the ball, and I personally think the ref has fallen for the theatrics because after he's
I'm not
he's
saying it's a
killing it.
penalty, but rules are rules. Laws are laws.
Yeah.
True.
Do you know what though? Can I just ask you something, Kenny? At the moment, we're keeping clean sheets, aren't we? Yeah, you know everything's good. The test will come if we do concede, because at the moment, everything is based on a lot of this, us winning games, yeah, but a lot of it as well is that protecting that clean sheet, not conceding. So if when we do concede,
I think
How
we
we gonna
showed
act?
at Newcastle. We showed another facet to our game because against Newcastle, they did penetrate us. They did have shots on target. They did get that goal, and that was all. That was all on the back of us playing on the front foot. Where if anyone looked likely to score, it would have been us at St James's Park. Remember, we got a penalty that was chalked off through VAR, so we were on the front foot. Newcastle got the goal, but what happens is that we showed another facet to our armoury, where we thought, right, we've got all these attacking players on the bench. We're going to keep Gyökeres on, keep Yeze on because he's creative. Bring on Odegaard. So we showed that we basically wore them down with just attack after attack after attack, set piece after set piece, and in the end they couldn't recover. So I am pleased in that front that this season we've shown we can come from behind. And Bayern Munich game is going to be very interesting. Obviously, we're forgetting Sunderland and Spurs. The good thing about the Bayern Munich game is Diaz isn't playing. He's got himself set off. That if Diaz was playing, what Diaz would do, what a lot of teams haven't got the nuts to do, is press and get in our faces and run non-stop. And plus, he's direct. And he's got a goal threat. Who's going to replace Diaz in that team? Or whoever replaces Diaz in that Bayern Munich team when they play us, are they going to do what Diaz does?
No, exactly. But I mean, did you think? I don't know. I mean, whoever wins that are pretty much through, aren't we? I mean, 15 points.
15 points, yeah.
So, or will? Can you see that game being sort of played out as a draw? Because the draw.
It depends how Arsenal are playing. I think Arsenal, if we keep a clean sheet against Sunderland. We keep a clean sheet in the North London derby. We just want to carry it on.
Yeah,
we're going to be very mindful of the fact that Bayern Munich are a better side, but we'll be very confident in our goalkeeper. We're going to be very we're going to double up on Alicia. We're going to double up on whoever comes in for Diaz. We'll double up on them, and we'll say to Harry Kane, "All right, no problem. You drop off."
He's going to get his customary Emirates penalty.
You drop off by all means, but whenever you try to play the ball for the runners, we're going to make sure we track those runs. That's how I think we're going to play it. We're going to accept that we're not going to have a lot of possession, and we're going to hope that they're going to leave space at the back, and we're going to say, right, we're going to have to suck it up and take it on. But one thing is about this Bayern Munich side is that it's a machine. It's a machine. It's playing really well. But Bayern Munich do have a situation where...
Have we earned the right to be confident against him? We
keep
lost
winning,
PSG, but we never got embarrassed. Madrid, and actually a few years ago against Bayern as well.
I'll reverse that question. I'll reverse that question. Have we got a right to be confident when we play Bayern Munich in the Allianz Arena? No.
I think we're at that stage we should.
But no, do we have the right to be confident against Bayern Munich at home in our own ground? Probably, yes.
I think home and away. Obviously, I would say more at home naturally. I think we do. I'm not saying when I'm saying confident, I'm not saying go out there all guns blazing. We're doing Postecoglou.
Yeah, I'm not saying it. Well, the situation is that this does not work without Zubimendi and Rice in midfield. If one of them's not playing, if one of them don't play, you can forget it. I know a lot of people got doubts about Zubimendi, but let's not forget it was Bayern Munich 2 years ago that outpassed us in midfield and outmanned us in midfield. And
our highlights struggled. Remember the mistake from Kivio? Like, no, just highlighting that it weren't all Kivio.
Yeah, even in those instances, let's not forget
there was too many gaps.
The damage was done in the first leg where we scored early through Saka.
We got stage fright at their place, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's not a case of stage fright. The first game at our ground, we were shook at our ground when they went 2-0 up.
I think we were on it at our place.
And let's not forget, what's important? They had chances to take the game away from us.
Yeah. But do you know what else is important going into this game? Is how we fare against Sunderland and in the North London derby as well. If we come out of there with flawless results, if we do a job on Sunderland, another clean sheet, we go into the North London derby full of confidence, we come out of that with a clean sheet or whatever, or we come out of that winning convincingly, then going into that Bayern game, there's a whole different kind of attitude going into that game. If we go into that game and we've dropped points and we've conceded goals and we've dropped points and we've looked a little bit rugged, then that Bayern game then has a whole different feel to it. So
would we be fickle for that, DJB? Because like obviously we're on a winning run and we're doing our thing and it's all great and stuff. Yeah, God forbid. But if we do F up either against Bayern, well, our first loss comes either against Sunderland, Bayern, or North London derby. If fans and the players start to drop their heads and stuff, are we a bit fickle? Because surely one loss shouldn't derail what we're doing.
No, it shouldn't do. But as I said, when a team is on such a high and we've not even conceded a goal and teams have not even had a shot against us, and then suddenly that gets broken down, it depends, because you've got to remember the mentality of this team. They're under pressure from day one. They've been under pressure to win trophies. The money's been spent. Everything's been geared up now for this season. Everything relies on this season. Trophies, everything. So when there's a little dent in the armour, it's how they bounce back. So it's really important that we keep the run going. I think at home against Bayern, we've got every right to be confident, because the simple reason is we're as good as Bayern, and some people might even say we're better than Bayern, because people say, "Oh, well, Bayern only play in the Bundesliga where we play in the Premiership." Well,
and they look like they're about to wrap up.
I don't really go down that route of comparing leagues. I look at the teams and how good they actually are. And Bayern Munich are a very, very good team.
Bayern Munich can win the league in this. Bayern Munich
win the Premier League. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Kenny. Absolutely. Yeah. Bayern Munich could
about their attacking players and the way they played, the robust way they attack. They play wingers.
Would they be the favourites? If they're in the Premier League this year, would they be favourites?
I'll tell you one thing: they won't lose any sleep about playing us, Man City, Man United, and Liverpool. They'll face the chance.
The question marks over Bayern for me. The question marks I've got over Bayern is: are they more physical than us?
I don't think they can't be. They can't be.
I think physically we might come out on top. The only problem is
we're onto them. Obviously, individual quality is scary, but I can't.
The only problem I've got, physically, I agree with the Gooner, is we have, but you can't go into the Bayern game with an out of form Saka and an out of form Eze, and you can't carry players against teams like Bayern Munich. And when you get in the latter stages of the
we're going to need the individual quality, man.
You can't carry players, because if you do look at Bayern, we are physically better than them, but as a team, every single player's on it. Elise's on it, Kane's on it, all of their attacking threat is on it. They've scored 30-odd goals this season.
Ridiculous.
They're all on it. We haven't. We're still.
They're missing two players, though, isn't it? I think
they are missing two players, but even the players that are coming in, like Jackson, he's flying at Bayern at the moment.
Jackson was stretch teams. I think
Yeah.
Alphonso Davies. I think Conrad Lima's playing at left back because Alphonso Davies is out. Because because tactically Conrad Lima could drop into the midfield. In terms of like Diaz, it's who's going to replace Diaz? Is Kingsley Coman going to replace Diaz against
Possibly.
us? But one thing about Bayern Munich, you talk about our physicality. This is one of those things where when we have been sloppy, and we have been sloppy during this run of not conceding goals, this team will punish us for any sloppiness.
That's what I'm trying to say. That is what I've been saying. Yeah, exactly. If we do have a moment where we are giving balls away, at the moment, teams haven't punished us, but this team will punish you if you do that.
Don't look the most solid defensively as well. You know, I must.
Do you know what I'm pleased about? Do you know what I'm really pleased that it's going to be a great night over there because two of the top teams in Europe. This is what I like about this new format of the Champions League. You do get these games. You do get these games. I love it.
You don't get crack games, do you?
No,
I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, but yesterday, if you want to sort of be blunt, whatever you say about Bayern Munich, being a home team, well, they went to the European champions and won 2-0 up and negotiated a win with 10 men. So
but PSG look crap at the moment, like last year.
You say they look crap, but everyone had Barcelona as favourites a few weeks ago. They went to Barcelona and won.
Yeah, but PSG always start slow. We saw this last year. Like, look at
PSG had players missing, didn't they? They had players missing, didn't they?
Yeah, they got players missing as well.
Yeah, but you all right? Real Madrid always win the Champions League every couple of seasons. Well, that Real Madrid team against Liverpool, had it not been for their goalkeeper making,
but they're always at this point in the campaign.
Real Madrid without Carvajal at right back and without a proper midfielder that can actually run, they're going to get mullered in this competition.
He was unlucky not to beat Real Madrid, Marseille. I remember watching that in the Champions League. There was a bit of dodgy Real Madrid penalties.
But the thing is with the Champions League, as we all know, listen, we've been watching football long enough now. The nitty-gritty of the Champions League comes in the knockout phase, doesn't it? And when the big boys are in the knockout, we sit. Look, let's cast our mind back to last season. Liverpool was in exactly the same position as us. Yeah. They were flying in the Champions League, unbeaten, hardly conceded, scoring goal for funds. When it comes to the knockout phase, PSG stepped up. What happened to Liverpool? So this is what I'm trying to say. You've got to be. You've got to stay switched on.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that. If you connect the dots and the eyes that we started with when we're talking about fatigue and about the intensity of the games, last season we saw with the English clubs, our cousins from abroad,
they couldn't cope
when they had jet skis on, we played with heavy legs.
Yeah.
So if you think about the second half of the Champions League, when you get into the last 16, and that's why I always can never understand where a lot of clubs in this country, if they win a few games in the Premiership or they start playing around in the Premiership, they anoint themselves as the best team in Europe. That they anoint themselves as friends to the Champions League. You don't give a chance to do that. I'll say it once, say it 1,000 times. How can you? I'm not saying English teams have a right in the Champions League to win it because we have seen Man City win it in 2023. We saw Chelsea win it in 2021. 2019, Liverpool won it. And then before that, was it 2012? Chelsea won it. And there was a period between the early 21st century when English clubs were either getting to the final winning it. But traditionally, since we've got back in Europe in 1990, 1991, what we've seen is that our cousins, when it comes to like the business end of the season, they're fresher than us. And that's why I've always said, what are they doing what we're not doing? They don't have a Christmas program, but we have a Christmas program. Yeah, but we expect to win the Champions League. Oh, why are we winning?
Because we're England and that's the way we like it, man. This festive period can never leave, man. I love it.
But hang on here. Our cousins in Europe do not have a Christmas break. They have a rest. I don't forget about. Oh yeah, we might go on.
And
to
then they're
Dubai.
nice and fresh when it comes to the nitty gritty part of the Champions League.
Yeah,
They've had their
yeah,
freshener.
if English clubs don't win this season, it'll be the same sort of whinging. Well, I'm sorry. Why don't you see what the rest of Europe are doing and get rid of that Christmas program? You don't need games of Boxing Day or New Year's Day or the other game. It's only armchair fans who want it, or traditionalists.
And get our football managers not to send our players on stupid international breaks like this one coming up. Sorry, Declan Rice has got the flu.
You know what?
I wish we started doing it. Him and Saka, matter of fact.
You know what you could do. You know what you could do at Boxing Day. Well, I know families who treat Boxing Day much as more basically as more important than Christmas Day. Why don't you do what you do on Boxing Day? Come round the ass. Watch a few films or play some of your boring board games. You don't need to play football
and watch the football
Boxing Day. You don't need to play football New Year's Day. The first game after Christmas should be the third round of the FA Cup. I say this every season, and every season I say tradition. And then when you don't win the Champions League and when your teams get tired, especially going to European competition, you wonder why. Now you're going to say, well, 2 English clubs got to UEFA Cup. I get that, and I respect that. And the team we hate the most won it. But this is the Champions League. What we saw in the Champions League,
I hear it,
is that PSG were fresher than Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Arsenal.
But again, this is the mentality of the big clubs in Europe.
You really put the freshness don't watch for me against PSG for us.
When it gets to the business end, that's when it starts. Yeah. We see it last year with PSG. We beat them 2-0 at the Emirates. They looked poor.
Yeah.
They went on to win it. We look at Liverpool. They were flying, got knocked out. This is what I'm trying to say is, I don't get sucked into this, we play in the Premiership, we have a divine right to win the Champions League because the teams we play are better. Well, if you go look at some of the history of the clubs that play in the Bundesliga, there are a lot bigger clubs in the Bundesliga than Bournemouth, than Brentford, no disrespect.
Yes.
There's a lot bigger clubs in the Bundesliga than Burnley.
Then Spurs.
There's a lot bigger clubs in the Bundesliga than the clubs that are in the Premiership. So I don't really get drawn into this kind of, we face, our clubs are stronger in the Premiership. The money's in the Premiership. I agree. The money's in the Premiership and everything's focused on the Premiership and it's where everyone wants to be. But if you sift through all of that and actually look at the size of the clubs that are in the Bundesliga, there's a lot bigger clubs than there's some big clubs in that Bundesliga that would hold their own with the money injected in the Premier League. So, how you put it on its head? How would Bournemouth and Brentford and teams like that fare in the Bundesliga?
They get Europe.
Relegated.
Bournemouth will get Europe
with less funding.
Relegated.
What Bournemouth? This current Bournemouth side could get Europe. I don't know if the Champions League are going to many places. They get Europe.
You know the common denominator.
But Palace are beating up teams in the Bundesliga.
I'm going to tell you guys a story. And it's actually quite interesting. Not all my stories are interesting, but this is very interesting. In 2016,
Kenny, come on.
They're always interesting.
Sunderland got relegated. Bayern Munich got to the latter stage of the Champions League. Which team made more money that season?
Say that again.
Sunderland got relegated in 2016. Bayern Munich got to the latter stages of the Champions League and won the Bundesliga. Guess which team made more money that season?
Obviously, Sunderland.
Exactly. And therein lies the problem.
Therein lies the problem. It's not
our fault. We got money over here. It's not our fault.
It's not that team.
I'm not saying it's our fault.
The bottom line is we've got to do a job on Sunderland first. That is tricky because they're at home. Their home form can't be disrespected. I don't care what anyone says. They're relying on their home form to keep them in the Premiership, and they're doing it pretty damn good. So it's going to be
let's speak on Sunderland now that you said that, DJB. Like, what we actually expecting is to Xhaka Derby. They're physical. They're overperforming. They're doing very well. Sunderland Lights is 5:30. It's mad.
You think we're a physical team, and we are physical. They are
Mm.
physical. They're like a little throwback at home to how it used to be football. They
They've been
fly
promoted
in.
from the championship. We should
They're
be
not going to
respecting
show
that.
us any respect. It's under the flood.
Mm.
It's 5:30 kickoff. It's going to be wet.
Mm.
It's going to be windy. The crowd are going to. It's probably the biggest club they've seen for many years at Sunderland.
Mm.
Yeah, they're going to be up for it. The crowd. They're going to be. We have got to. We've got to win the battle, Saturday. And I don't care how we play, as long as we get 3 points. I'm not looking at pretty football at the weekend. I don't think it's going to be that sort of game. I'm not even
I think
looking
it is,
at.
you know.
I'm not looking at free flowing
Mm.
football. I'm just looking at coming out of there with 3 points, no injuries, get the job done, because that's the sort of game it's going to be on Saturday. They're not going to show us any respect. They're not going to go,
they
oh, it's
shouldn't.
Arsenal. Oh. Xhaka won't allow that to happen in the dressing room.
Xhaka cannot leave that pitch being the best midfielder on it. If
I'm
anyone
telling
knows
you
it,
now,
the
I'm
place
telling you
is to-
now,
it has to be us.
this is where I get a little bit annoyed with some of the Arsenal fans, because we're on this run at the moment, but just because we're on this run, all the other teams don't matter. Totally. Oh, we'll beat Sunderland 4-5-0.
No, that's not how life
4-5-0.
works.
And that's where it goes wrong. We
Mm.
have to keep our
Stay
feet
humble,
on the
man.
ground. We've got to respect Sunderland. Their home form is their home form for a reason, and they are where they are in the Premiership for a reason. Because what they're
Exactly,
doing,
they're
they're
captain.
doing well. What they're doing well. Their manager gets them up for the games. I saw them play against Everton, and Everton are physical. Tarkowski and men like this, they were bossing that. In the second half.
That's O'Brien and Keane, isn't it?
They
Very
were
physical
bossing
players.
that in the second half. Tackles were going in. They were flying in on Grealish. They weren't
do you
giving him
take
any
anything-
time.
Do you take anything away from their first half showing against Everton? Their first half showing, they're very sloppy. Everton outrun them.
We don't kill teams
And-
in the first half. So if that's the case,
Yeah, but we
Interesting
start off
Bayern
slow.
and
Tony.
Grealish
This is the problem.
got
We don't.
space.
Yeah, but this is the problem. Their first half wasn't very good against Everton, but we don't really start off very.
we
very
need a
good.
second half to start doing what we need to do.
Yeah. Listen, I'm expecting us to win.
Do
But
they have
I don't
quality
think
to
it's
get
going to.
behind us?
It'll be completely different to what we faced Burnley. It won't be
Yeah,
Burnley.
and obviously, they're better than Burnley, but do they have the quality to get him behind us? Because we thought that
No,
with
I don't-
Crystal Palace,
I don't know.
you think
I
with
don't
Crystal
know.
Palace, with players like Sarr and players like Mateta,
Mateta
we always
for
thought
sure was
they
in
had the
behind.
physicality and the quality of getting behind us, but we actually made them look average. Do you think we could do that against Sunderland on Saturday?
I think we actually need to have the ball
I
on the
didn't see
floor,
anything.
like unpopular
I'm not
opinion.
putting Sunderland down, but
If we go long to Marino, we're playing in their
Yeah.
hands, and that's something I liked about the Prague game.
Yeah,
We're going long, we stop that. If we put tomorrow, Saturday, put the ball on the floor, they're done in the first half.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but when I look at Sunderland, I look at their players. I was expecting a lot from them. I was really looking forward to watching them play, but I looked at where they played. And I thought it was their crowd that dragged them to that equaliser. But I thought, hang on, where's the? I didn't see much quality. Obviously, they raised the game against us, but do you think that in their heads, because of the way we defend, psychologically they're thinking the sort of risks that they were taking against Everton, they thought, well, if we play this side and get called Arsenal and we concede, it's kind of game over.
I hope so. I hope that psychological.
We got that kind of. The teams have that mentality. Obviously, Liverpool won't have that mentality.
Sunderland can't.
But
And I
the
hope it's
teams
an open
outside
game
top
that plays
six
in our hands.
have that mentality where they think, because Jordan, he was talking about Spurs, and he said that Spurs are garbage, and to a certain extent, he's got a point because the football they play, I have to admit, Jordan's got a point because I watched the game against Chelsea, and as a neutral, and as a person who hates Tottenham, that doesn't care much for Chelsea but really hates Spurs, but as a neutral, I took my bias towards Tottenham off, and you know what? I was really looking forward to that game. What I was served up was absolute garbage.
Should have probably been
First
3-4
half
Chelsea, if I'm honest.
It was one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. To the extent that it was like a 1-0 thrashing because Chelsea missed so many sitters, and even towards the end, Gittins and Yao Pedro missed a sitter, and they didn't even have and basically Yao Pedro's not even a forward, but the amount of space he had, I was thinking, you've got 62,000 fans in your stadium. you've got these passionate guys who hate Chelsea, and the tactics were all bad.
Yeah.
The defending was a joke, and if you talk about the attacking, if you call what
It's
Spurs
probably the
fans-
worst thing about Spurs, if I'm honest.
I don't know. You probably was watching that professionally, or if your channel, you thought, why did I bother? I might as well watch Strictly Come Dancing. But
DG was like David Raya in goal, wasn't he?
Yeah,
but
man.
you know what's funny? But seriously, that was the garbage that those two teams served up, a London derby. But then again, we should know that because we played Chelsea at our ground in March the 16th this last season, and it was the same. It was a replica. We won.
No,
It was crap.
I just think Sunderland's going to be tough Saturday because listen,
definitely
they're going to go into that game thinking, right, we're not expected to win, so let's give it a go. Let's give it a go, and if they give it a go, I'm with you, DG. I don't want. We played a lot of long balls yesterday. We was playing a lot of long balls.
No, it's got to be on the floor, man.
David Raya was. Now, if you're going to do that, that will just.
It doesn't bang with Marino.
That will play into Sunderland's hands.
Exactly. That's why I want it on the floor because it did feel like first 20 minutes.
Newsflash. You're going to love this. According to the German newspaper Sport Bild, Real Madrid are planning to sell Vinicius Jr. at the end of the season.
Ooh.
Do we bring him to the
club? One way, Vinny goes the other.
Yeah.
One of the two,
DJB, bring the Brazilians.
Saka goes one way, Vinny goes the other.
And just like that, we're even more scarier. Bring him. Smash up the wage structure. But you know
what I said. Saka goes the other one way.
No. If Saka has to go over there, no.
Yeah.
I'm not ditching Saka. Maybe if there was a thing where Max Dowman's in his final form and he's the showman, I might be open to it.
Watch Real Madrid come in for Saka and watch Berta go like this. How much? 140?
Then I'd have to say, look at Saka in his current form. You really want him? He's not that good, man.
Hang on a minute. He's lost a little bit of form. What are we saying here? 140 million? Come on.
But then rumors always come out with Vinicius, man, every week. Like, I'm sure without even looking, there must be contract.
Dave, rumors happen. Either his captain leaked it, or Rail, or someone naughty at Rail's leaked it.
Listen, can you imagine Vinicius? Can you imagine Vinicius at Arsenal? Vinicius Junior being a bigger pool than Arteta. Arteta won't stand for that.
No, he won't.
He's Mr. Arsenal. No one's bigger than Arteta at Arsenal. He couldn't have Vinicius rock up. The old press room would go mad.
Well, I'm just saying he could.
You'll get certain people that go in that press rooms asking more stupid questions.
You know what happens if I've seen them vindicate.
There's only a couple clubs that you go to.
It all changes if he's officially been told he can leave the club and he's officially on a transfer list and there's official bids for him. I think people say we wouldn't want Vinicius Jr. may change their minds.
That's madness. I'm sorry, but like Vinicius Jr.
Man United.
At Arsenal.
Man United.
Isn't he one of the best? All right. I'll rephrase that. The rightful winner of the 2024 Ballon d'Or may be available at the end of the season.
And he'll go to Man United.
Yeah. What? It's the Man United, it's the Cities, it's the Saudis, it's the PSGs. There's a handful of clubs that can afford them, innit?
We
probably can put the pennies together, but we're not doing that.
We don't want him.
Yeah, like not for that price. You got more luck of getting Rodrigo.
Liverpool's structure is the same as ours. What if Liverpool went for him?
Yeah, but you got Salah on crazy fees now. Vert's on something crazy.
This Salah's last season, DG.
Yeah, but on paper, we don't know that. He's got 2 years left. We don't know that. Like, we don't know that. So you're going to have Vinicius. Vinicius is probably going to earn what Haaland.
We ain't getting Vinicius. We're putting 10,000 new seats at the Emirates. How much do you think that's going to cost? There's no more money coming at this football club. We're going to have a little spend up in January. We've got to ship players out before we get players in.
Yeah, but the shirt sales and
No.
merchandise. Pay for that.
Kenny,
For those
we've got
fans
to get players out before we get players in.
If we get Vinicius Junior, and like, it's hypothetical, but if we get Vinicius Junior, would he not be the biggest name at the club, and would his shirts not outsell?
Yeah, it would
all
be.
our players.
Yeah, but you can't have men. But you know what Arteta's like. You can't have someone rock up.
This is all hypothetical.
You ain't gonna
It's right into us, Vinicius, man. I don't even care about this quote unquote attitude issue.
Nah, listen.
But you are right. It's a headache.
They've got their art set on extending that stadium, so we might have to take a hit financially.
As long as we don't go to bloody Wembley, I'll be happy.
That's why it's important before we go off to Wembley. That's why it's important we get trophies in the bag.
You sworn again. Because
it'll be a whole different ball game if we go to Wembley. That'd be even harder to win a trophy.
Again. I hate. You know what? I love the fact that we have a national stadium here, and we have a stadium that's fit for cup finals. But bloody hell, I bloody hate that stadium. And to think,
I love being there. It's the journey to and from, whether you drive, whether you're trying to get out.
I know, DJ. I've been there for about 5-6 years. I wouldn't know what it's like,
I know
your ways don't even go that far.
Yeah, but DJB, do you actually want to go
walk up to the seats? So madness.
DJB,
getting out.
Potentially. All right, hear what you're saying. Potentially, do you want to really go up there 27 times in a season?
I want to go West Ham, Kenny. Kenny, I want to go West Ham. Half an hour down the road from me.
That's I can't do that 27 times in a season. That'd be mental.
It makes sense.
And it will be dead.
If that stadium,
Arsenal versus Bournemouth at Wembley,
be dead. It'd be dead. There's no way we're filling out that stadium week in, week out.
Kenny, we're going to have to get.
Look what Jack Ramsey says. Look what Jack Ramsey says.
Yeah.
Kenny, we spoke about it privately. The FA aren't skint. They don't need the money. They hosted record dates with Taylor Swift and Oasis just this year and Coldplay. Yeah, but that's Wembley. We've been knowing this. The FA are not broke. They're scamming everyone all the time. And they have a stadium.
The FA are thieves. They're money grabbing. They're hoods. They're cowboys, and they're gangsters. They're gangsters.
If that stadium extension goes ahead, me and you have got to go over to Arsenal and get the ball rolling in the stands to play our games at West Ham, because it suits everyone. Moving to West Ham, that suits everyone. All the fans can get there. You can get out of there. All trains go into Stratford.
A good friend of ours, I had a discussion in person with Darren and Sullivan, because he does a stewarding at the Grand, and we spoke online. He's from
Gooner even says it. Look, kick him out and we can play there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Darren Sullivan. He's from West London. Like the old Middlesex part of West London. If he drives on the A406, Wembley's 20 minutes away from him, so it's easy for him to get there. But on my explanation to Darren was, well, hang on here. You do that 27 times a season. Every time, the getting out of that stadium and actually to get to the train station, when you've only got one station, it's a death trap. And those trains, those tubes are full of fans. It's a death trap.
It is. It's mental. West Ham makes more sense because you got the Jubilee line that goes there. You got the overground that goes there. You got the district. You got everything. All the lines go there. Everything goes there, and it's right on our doorstep.
And the trains out of London as well, not to forget.
Yeah, it's a death trap, because you think about it. If you notice, right, when you get to Wembley as well, not only the train's small. Yeah. You remember when you've got the sort of like pavements. That they say mind the gap.
Yeah.
There's no bloody gap. There's no bloody gap. Supposing if there's a crush, and you can someone can get crushed in a train, crushed on a platform, or someone can fall down the rails because there's no room.
It's one of the most horrible stadiums, to get in and out of. Like when you're there, it's great. It's madness. It's absolute madness.
And it's the worst. It's the worst stadium to come home from when you've lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. The station's rammed.
To actually use that stadium.
I was there when we lost to North London Derby when Aubameyang missed a pen. Horrible.
Not only that, though, Kenny.
He missed a sitter, and a year later, Aubameyang. Yeah, but remember Lacazette missed a sitter, didn't he?
But
Yeah,
Kenny,
saying
what
this.
else you got to think?
It's true.
Another-
That's
I
what
don't
happened.
remember Aubameyang's penalty miss from that. I think I've erased it.
No. Do you remember Saka you remember Lacazette in the first game in 2018 when they're 1-0 up and he had that chance where he just screwed it wide? Well, it was easy to score. Do you remember that? Yeah.
Oh.
But Kenny, another thing people don't realise as well playing at Wembley is when you come out of there, the away fans and the home fans converge.
Yeah, it's just because it's only one way. Well,
So
if you're getting on the train,
you've got the
like,
North
that's the
London
way.
derby. You've got the North London derby playing there, and Chelsea's and Man United's and all of this, all
Madness.
this rivalry. I mean, it's not nice. It's not nice. It makes sense to play at West Ham, but I honestly think it's going to go ahead. I don't think this is going to go away. I think that ground extension is.
Neither do I. But I
think it's happening more than any signing. I think that's the first thing that's happening.
But I'm not playing scaremongering. You can get away with using Wembley for a one-off cup final, i.e. the League Cup, the FA Cup. You know, a few England internationals, the playoffs, maybe a few of the women's internationals, and the women's cup final, FA Cup final. But you're doing it. If you're doing that, plus you've got a club that uses it over 20-something times, over 25 times.
Manic.
I'm sorry, you're going to get injuries. You're going to get injuries.
But they don't care about that, man. These people that make these decisions don't give a flying monkeys about
they
that.
won't. They don't until something serious happens.
I don't even
But
think
the
they
club
care.
can make
They'll
the
say
stance,
RIP and sorry, but they're going to do the same thing
Yeah,
again.
the club can make a
I'm
stance.
serious. You're going to see. God forbid, you're going to see a fatality on one of those.
You know how these money men and women operate? It's salary first, conscience later.
It's
the thing is, DJ, the club can make a stance. If Arsenal Football Club turned around and said, "Sorry, we don't want to play our game at Wembley,"
that's why
I mean,
because
because
they make a lot of noise, man.
But I think we'll be happy. I think our club will be happy to play at Wembley. They'll think it's a good.
Agreed. But the problem is that I'll tell you one thing. Fans,
I wish I could agree with that.
I'll tell you one thing. Though. I'll tell you one thing. Fans on coming out of that stadium, God help you.
Oh, it's terrible.
Could you imagine midweek as well?
Look at Jack. He's only 24, and he was at the cup final of Crystal Palace. This is what happened to him.
Ended up in hospital for 5 days because of my heart. People in their 80s would be in trouble. Yeah, no, it's peak. If you're elderly or got issues walking and you need to be assisted, it's peak for you. Like it actually is, and football should be accessible to all.
And on those tube lines as well, where there's not where there's small tubes, and you got small platforms with thousands of fans.
You're better off literally waiting about 2 hours from the game being done before you even think about getting on trains or driving or anything of that ilk.
It's dangerous. I'm worried that you're going to have accidents. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong.
I'd love to say you'd be wrong, Kenny and DJP, but like, it's a serious concern.
It is a concern, especially if that is your staple diet and that is your home game, and you're in the Champions League and you're guaranteed 20.
I won't be going most Champions Leagues. I can't do it. I can't get to Wembley.
Get home at stupid o'clock.
Yeah, but can you imagine it though? You got 23 guaranteed games, plus you've got the Carabao Cup that you've got to play there. Then you've got the FA Cup that you've got to play there. Supposing if you get in the last 16 of a European competition and you get to the semi-final, that's nearly 30 games. Madness. No, that's 30 games with having to put up with that. It's not going to work. I don't know how Spurs fans put up with that crap.
Because you've got no choice as a football fan, innit? Like if they say they're doing it, they're doing it, innit?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think what's happening is that obviously we love our podcast, we love talking about it, we love cooking each other, we love cooking making podcasts about this guy and this player this. But when you've got a situation where they are at the end of the day, it's fan show. Sometimes you have to have a segment where you do talk about issues for fans, i.e. getting tickets and fan safety. And
which is the priority above everything.
But fan safety is not a consideration if you're going to Wembley for your league games. It's not. Or fan welfare.
This is what I'm saying. Like again, and I guess it's still terrible on the weekends, but the weekends are one thing. What if you're a disabled fan trying to go there midweek and you've got work? You're in trouble. Like you're genuinely in trouble. And all you can do is hope to God people go and arrive to the ground and go home and everyone's in one piece. But unfortunately, there will be some level of an incident. Sure, if I Google when Spurs were there must have been some incidences.
There's got to be. Can you think about it, right, on a regular basis? Finsbury Park, Highbury Islington, Highbury Tube is in the smack in the middle of London. They're built for regular passage of people. And you think about, if you're looking at the situation, they're built for rush hour.
Not to mention a couple of stations
because
they're all next to each other as well.
Wembley Park is not built for rush hour. It's not.
I couldn't tell you what the nearest station, excluding Wembley Park, is, like, or Wembley Central, whatever it is, whatever the main one is, where you see the skyline as you get out. I don't know no others.
So, match day coming from the ground and everything. Obviously, they closed Finsbury Park. There's a reason why they closed Finsbury Park, because of the same reason that access for the fans is health and safety and fan welfare and crushing. So they say, right, go
Same happens at Seven Sisters when them lot play.
So if TFL have realised this situation, the police have realised this situation, well, surely you've got to ask yourself a question: is Wembley Park built for rush hour on a regular basis?
Clearly not.
You can't.
Right, clearly not. Like Jack has said, my father-in-law refused to use the trains at Wembley because it was lethal. He used to drive and pay to park on someone's drive. Instead, he felt if he was on the platform edge, he was going to fall. And even that, like, I've driven to Wembley as well, but then you're there forever. Like, you're there, unless you leave early, which I'm not going to do at Wembley. You're fucked either way. Unless you can fly physically, which none of us can.
I won't be able to go most of the I won't be able to go to some of the Champions League games. If
when are you going to get home? When are you going to get home?
Stupid.
I'll miss the train and everything. I'll miss the link into Essex. I'll be done.
This is what I'm saying.
Done.
So that's going to either leave you out of pocket, or you're going to get home at
stupid. What about those
fans? Work. Forget it.
And you know, a lot of
thousands like that as well.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. At the end of the day, that's where the consultation. That's where the consultation with the fan groups, with the club, because you can't just say, right, you're going to go there. Here's your money. We're going to freeze your season.
Yeah, but you know they're going to lobby these fan groups, and then some people will get twanged to say it's all okay, it's great. Like we all know how, and you lot older than me, but collectively we're all experienced to know how these things work and how much of a rip-off it is, man.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think what it is, at the end of the day, the majority of football fans are, I'll say it respectfully, and they are the lifeblood. The majority of football fans are armchair fans. They're the ones. They're the ones. The armchair fans pay the players, not me or DJB. The armchair fans, because of their Sky subscriptions and even their subscriptions from abroad, they pay the players.
Right. And that filters
that's just factual.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. It'll be interesting. That's why we've got to get. That's why we've got to get business. That's why we've got to get trophies done. Now,
yeah, make some history unless it to help us.
Wembley, if you move to Wembley, it's going to be completely. It won't be like home, will it? It'll be like no.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. We could turn it to a fortress, but at the end of the day, you're not going to see full. You're not going to. You won't see full capacities.
Exactly. Like, can we? And let's have it right. Us Arsenal fans or collective. I speak for the collective rather than individuals. We're not the most partisan of fans. You can't even make the Emirates a consistent kind of jumpy ground.
The novelty will wear off. Don't get me wrong. The first game we packed, but the novelty will begin to wear off as it did with Spurs.
5-10 games, it will be mad. Other than that,
yeah, we did play a Champions League game there, Jack. It was a nightmare. I was there. I was there when Batistuta steps up.
I was there as well. It's one of the things where
that we was
diabolical when they bit us 4-2. Remember when they bit us 4-2?
Yeah. Oh man.
I look at the whole situation is that you got to think about the bigger picture. But I look at it this way: is that football fans, we are the most resilient people out there, because simple reason is that we, regardless of whether you watch it at home, whether you attend the games live, you feel that if you don't attend the game or you don't watch the game, you're going to regret it. You feel you have to go because it's something. It's what you do.
Yeah,
but it's your love.
Yeah, it's a love, and I think that's what it is. You know, that's one thing I do love about football. It's one of the very few live sports. Obviously, there are other sports that you watch live where you want to watch it live. You don't want to stream it.
No.
You know what I mean? But I think the authorities take it for granted, because at the end of the day, the guy who who's abroad, who will get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, he's more valued than the person who gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get a coach to go to Newcastle. The guy who gets up out of his bed and goes from his bedroom to his living room or turns the TV on in his bedroom is more valued than the person who actually physically gets himself up to St James's Park on a night game or 12:30 game.
And still has to live their life, whether they've got a kid or kids, whether they're in college, whether they've got work, like don't even know where they live. They might live on a whole different side of England. This is what they do. This is being a football fan, unfortunately, in the modern day, isn't it? Whether you're paying for season tickets, whether you're abroad, whether you're paying for season tickets and subscriptions, and it's only going to get worse. It's only going to milk you, and everybody in the chat more.
DG in the chat, the best chat in the world. Me and DJB, we've got a show at 6.
Oh, you lot are late, man. Why don't you not say anything?
Because the conversation flow,
man.
No, you're our guy. You're our Brett, man.
I appreciate it, but I don't want to make you late for nothing. You're 4 minutes late, man. You're gonna have to pay late fees.
It's fine, but no. Do you know what? I love this Wednesday show. It's just like
I missed it, man.
Spot on.
I love the fact that we can talk about, well, obviously,
we cover everything.
We'll touch on other things. Cover everything. We started talking about fans and stuff, and big up the chat, and obviously Jack as well for offering their own perspectives. You know what time it is on Wednesday, people, man. So we're gonna let the two main men get out of here. Before I let you lot go,
thank you.
Before I let you lot go, plug your stuff, man. Even you, Kenny, as well. I see you on Instagram now, and obviously DJB's got his YouTube channel, which is in the title.
Come and subscribe. Come and subscribe, people. Come on.
And someone keep posting that.
Well, all I got to say right now is that you can catch me on Instagram, but I'm afraid Twitter, right, is a cesspit of insanity.
Yeah, Twitter's horrible, man.
Unwanted political opinion and a cesspit of kinsmanship. Unwanted kinsmanship. Stay on Instagram and stay on YouTube. Twitter's been ruined by the attention seekers and the people who think that we need to hear what they had for dinner.
Or X, as they say, it is now.
I'm not any of it, so I'm happy.
I'll go on Twitter because it's more political now. Even the Arsenal fans who don't talk more about politics and football.
Yeah.
It's just it's just an app of misinformation, rage bait, just bare things, like people just lying. Crazy. I just follow I'll just obviously follow Arsenal, Sky Sports, all of these kind of things. I just use it as news. Like I just use it as a news platform. That's it. Ain't nowhere else past that.
Exactly. Well, you need to get the TNT Discovery app because that's how I got the news about Vinny Jr.
You know what? I'm gonna do that as soon as we're done here.
Let's roll on Saturday first. Let's not.
Saturday. Last question before you lot get out of here. Score predictions. I'm going 2-0 Arsenal for Sunderland.
I'm
3-0.
I'm going 2-0. I'm going 2-0. 2-0 Arsenal.
Minimum of 2 goals.
Filthy, horrible, not nice to watch, but 3 points. That's what it's all about. If we can win the Premiership, you don't look back and say, "Oh, that was scruffy." You look back and say, "We're champions."
Could you imagine that being in May 2026, thinking, "Oh, it wasn't a great game."
There's a lot of these games, like under George in '91.
Yeah. We're very similar to George Graham's 91 team. Very, very similar. I think there's not a lot of difference in goals conceded and everything else. We're very, very similar. And it was fine then under George Graham. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Come on.
The difference is
George Graham.
Big up everyone. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up everyone. DG. Immense.
Get over the line as usual, Unc. Kenny.
Good luck on TalkSport. Don't let them grind you down.
No,
man.
No.
I don't know when I'm back. I'm not doing it really well.
You stood your ground really well on TalkSport.
You gotta stand your grounds, man. Like I'm not a pussy. Like
we'll never accuse you of doing that.
No, I'm just saying because if I'm honest, I see a lot of Arsenal content creators, and like I'll watch their content. They think one way, they'll go on this, and it's like, it's not that you have to disagree, it's not that you have to be rude. Yeah. You don't agree with what they're saying, like, just say it. Like,
the thing is how I look at it, right, is I've got my opinions, I've got my views. Listen, as I said, I've always respected Arteta. I think he's doing good stuff this season. Blah blah blah. But as I said, you know, I've got my views. I'm not saying that someone's different is wrong. That's what I'm all
You're
about.
allowed to have reservations.
That's what, yeah, but that's what. Why start? Why have a channel? Why do this if you've got to agree with everyone?
People are too emotional, man, and it's like you can be. Yeah,
let's be happy. Let's be happy.
Yeah, this is what it should be. When we win, we're
let's
happy.
be
When we're
happy.
sad,
It's dark, it's
is.
raining.
We really
it's
have to
windy.
go. We
I
really
don't
have
need
to
it.
go.
Let's be happy.
Yeah. That's
Big
we'll
up
continue
soon.
that chatter next
week.
But yeah,
Big up.
people,
Gotta go.
let's let them go.
Bless
People,
DP.
smash the
Bless
like
the
button.
chat. Love
Yeah,
always.
right.
Stay safe, everyone. Stay safe,
We're
people.
out.
Stay safe.
Safe.
You always just have to when like
I think like